Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini. Hope you all are doing well. We have made it to Friday this week, the weekend right around the corner, and we have quite the bit to talk about here today, including the Pittsburgh Penguins, their coaching staff, their new coaching staff, I should say, is officially filled out. They made a handful of hires here today. We already knew about Nick Bonino accepting his role as an assistant coach. We will talk about what other hires that the Penguins general manager Kyle Dubas and head coach Dan Muse made today. We will also talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins, or excuse me, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Sorry, Penguins, they are the main talking point here today. We will talk about the Pirates. They were able to salvage one game of their three-game set against the Detroit Tigers last night. Paul Skenes was on the bump, did not get the win, unfortunately, because the team, they can really find a way to make him not get a win each and every chance that they get. But they did get a win. We'll talk about what happened in last night's game and also what happened that wasn't baseball related during the game. And finally, we will wrap up talking about some Pittsburgh Steelers news. Jalen Ramsey seeming to subtly hint at possibly wanting to join the Steelers, and any other loose news stories that we happen to come across. But first thing is first, if you are new here to the channel, welcome, and subscribe if you would, very please. Make sure to turn on notifications as well so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, feel free to like and share this video and comment any thoughts, questions, or opinions that you have in the comment section below. I enjoy interacting with you fine folks that way, and I can pop those up on at a moment's notice. We are going to start here today talking about the Pittsburgh Penguins and them just filling out their new coaching staff. They hired Dan Muse a couple of weeks ago as their new head coach following Mike Sullivan's departure, and they got a whole new coaching staff to go along. We talked about Nick Bonino joining the crew yesterday, I believe. If not, it was 2 days ago. But we're going to start here. I'm going to tell you who the new hires are. They have hired Todd Nelson, Nick Bonino, and Rich Clune as assistant coaches per the Penguins' official release, and Troy Paquette as the team's new assistant video coach. Also, goaltending coach Andy Chiodo will remain on staff of head coach Dan Muse's new coaching staff. So let's just go here, go through all of the new coaches here. Let's start with we're going to start here with Todd Nelson. We heard from Elliot Friedman on his 32 Thoughts podcast. He heard rumors this morning that Todd Nelson could be hired as an assistant coach with the Penguins. Who is Todd Nelson, you might ask? Probably the best assistant coach hire that the Penguins could have made, other than, a retread from around the league, a more familiar face who's been in the league for a while. Todd Nelson here, he was the AHL coach for the minor league affiliate of the Washington Capitals, the Hershey Bears. Very accomplished coach down there in the AHL. Let me read you off a bit of his resume here. Todd Nelson, with 3 seasons in Chocolatetown, Hershey, Pennsylvania, with the Hershey Bears, had 141 wins in 3 seasons, including 2 Calder Cups. That is the trophy in the AHL, the championship in the AHL. He won 2 of those back-to-back in 2023 and 2024. Hershey Bears tweeting a nice tribute video to him. So 3 successful years down in the AHL, 141 wins, 2 Calder Cups. Also, I believe I saw something where he was also, before becoming the Hershey Bears head coach, he was an assistant coach with the Dallas Stars. So he has been up in the NHL before. It's not like he's coming straight from the minors, into the big leagues here for the first time. And actually, Todd Nelson, I'm happy that he's here, because he was one of those, Dan Muse, be honest, he was way outside of the box hire for what we were expecting. Todd Nelson, his name was thrown out there quite a bit to be the head coaching hire for the Pittsburgh Penguins. 2 Calder Cups in 3 seasons, well over 140 wins. That could very well land you a head coaching job somewhere in the NHL. Instead, he will be an assistant coach here with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Happy that he did not go anywhere else. So great hire there. Just looking here through more what else Todd Nelson is known for here. His last role was an assistant with the Dallas Stars. He's going to be a great coach here, kind of like most of the other coaches on this staff. Player development is his key. Going back to talk about his time with the Hershey Bears, when he won those 2 Calder Cups with the Bears, most of those players that he had, they ended up ascending up to the National Hockey League team, the Capitals, this past year, and they won the Metropolitan Division. The Capitals, I'm trying to think, you got like Alexei Protas, I believe Ethan Frank was another one of their forwards, just a young team surrounding Alex Ovechkin and John Carlson and others there for that team there for the Capitals. So he coached a lot of those young guys that ended up getting up to the National Hockey League last year and taking the Capitals to winning the Metropolitan Division and going into the second round of playoffs. So he's going to be a good developmental coach alongside Dan Muse, probably 2 of the best, if not the 2 best developmental coaches this cycle in Dan Muse and Todd Nelson. Just looking here at some other things, Josh Yohe here from The Athletic, he covers the Penguins, saying that Todd Nelson, he is a very highly regarded coach, that most in the organization thinks the team's defensive work, he is a really great hire here for the Penguins. Also, Josh Yohe, he spoke on why Andy Chiodo, the goaltending coach, stayed. He says that Chiodo is staying because he is highly regarded in the organization and that the defense last year was more of a problem than the goaltending. Still, though, Tristan Jarry, Alex Nedeljkovic, if you can find a place for them to go, by all means, send them out there. You can very well use one, if not both of their roster spots to get Yoel Blomqvist, see what you have in him for a long stretch in the NHL. Also, Sergei Murashov, after what he did in the AHL last year, I could see him being in the NHL some point next season. He is very promising as well. So kind of would like to see, just get a whole clean slate defense and goaltending wise, but Andy Chiodo will stay. Just we'll see if the same goaltenders remain. But yeah, Todd Nelson, highly regarded coach there, great developmental guy, lots of success in the AHL, and now he is back in the NHL as an assistant under Dan Muse. Speaking of Muse, we talked yesterday about Nick Bonino joining the team here. Dan Muse, he spoke on Nick Bonino coming aboard here today, saying Nick's understanding of what it takes to win at the NHL level is unmatched, and his unique experience as a player who filled many different roles over the course of his career will only help him as an assistant coach. His familiarity with the Penguins organization, as well as my familiarity with him as a player and person, made him a great fit for this role. And we're excited to welcome him to our coaching staff as he enters the next phase of his careers. Great stuff there from Dan Muse on Nick Bonino, who joins the staff. One more thing here on Todd Nelson. Shout out Seth Rohrabaugh for pointing this out. Nelson, he was actually on the Penguins at one point during his playing career. He played for the for a handful of teams, but he was with the Penguins for one game, actually, and it was for one game in 1991 against the New York Islanders. So wonder maybe he just missed out there on getting his name etched on the cup as a Pittsburgh Penguin. Looking else here, see what else is going on. Thought I had one more thing. I'm not sure if it was on Todd Nelson or Rich Clune here. Right here. This here is from Michelle Crecchiolo, Pens Inside Scoop on Twitter. She does a fantastic job covering the team. She gave some background on Rich Clune, who is really the lesser famous hire here. Todd Nelson, he took the attention away from most of the other guys who got hired on staff. Rich Clune, he played in the NHL, AHL, and ECHL. He spent the last 7 seasons in the Toronto Maple Leafs organization. At 38 years old, he transitioned into coaching, first as a player developmental coach and then as an assistant with their AHL team in the Toronto Marlies. They have done pretty well in recent years as well, the Marlies, their AHL team. So great stuff there. Also, there was a quote here from Dan Muse on the hiring of Rich Clune as well, saying, Rich brings a wealth of knowledge across every level of professional hockey, spanning from his 15-year playing career to his time in developmental and coaching at the AHL and NHL levels over the past 3 years. Rich's experience in coaching, development, and as a former player and captain will be extremely valuable in this role, and we're excited for his addition to our coaching staff. So he is no slouch of a hire either, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Clune, another great developmental coach, also pretty notable player. I do remember him back when I was a kid watching him during his playing days. I believe he was a Nashville Predator at a time as well. So great to have him on board. And that does it for the new Pittsburgh Penguins coaching staff. We are now today officially T-minus 1 week away from the NHL draft, and the Penguins, they have gotten their new and very young coaching staff altogether. Just looking here at the ages of the coaches, Todd Nelson, who is now an assistant coming from the Hershey Bears in the Capitals organization. He is the oldest coach on this staff at 56 years old. Below him in terms of age, Dan Muse is 42, Rich Clune is 38, and Nick Bonino, who just retired, is at 37. So, very young coaching staff. But hey, with youth comes some excitement. This is going to be a great developmental staff. Maybe they're lacking, one former head coach at the NHL level to help, guide along Dan Muse in some situations that may pop up during the season. But great, new age style of hockey coaching staff that is going to be focusing on development. And also you got Nick Bonino in there, of course, who I said he'll be, keeping good relations with the elder statesmen on the team who are going to be leaving after this year, some of whom we've talked about, Evgeny Malkin, this probably being his last year as a Pittsburgh Penguin. But also to put in reference, Dan Muse, 42, Nick Bonino, 47, Rich Clune, 38, or Nick Bonino, 37, Rich Clune, 38. Sids will be 38 next season. Gino will be 39. Same thing with Tanger. He'll be up there as well. So got some players playing at the same age as the coaches here. But that's all right. Shifting towards a new age in Penguins hockey, ladies and gentlemen. Let's embrace it. Dan Muse, head coach. 3 assistant coaches, Todd Nelson, Nick Bonino, Rich Clune. Assistant video coach, Troy Paquette. And Andy Chiodo will remain as the goaltending coach for now. We'll see how long that lasts here, if the goaltending will ever improve heading into next year. But what do you guys think of this hiring? I like the coaching staff. Maybe could have just used, one veteran coach who's been an experienced head coach in the NHL here, but not going to complain too much. I like the staff, like what I've heard and read of the guys who have joined this coaching staff. And what do you guys think? Get any thoughts and comments you have on it in the comment section below. We are going to move pretty quickly here through today's live stream, keep things nice and rolling as we head into the weekend. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates real quick. This team, after yesterday, we went live yesterday afternoon between their doubleheader. They lost game 1 of yesterday's doubleheader, got blown out 9-2. Tarek Skubal, the best pitcher in baseball alongside Paul Skenes, absolutely dominated a very poor Pittsburgh Pirates lineup. They then got back underway last night at 6:10, and the Bats, with a somewhat better lineup, they definitely had, O'Neal Cruz and Spencer Horwitz in there. They're not, as of late, the most fruitful Bats, but hey, they're better than what was in game 1. The Bucs Bats, they showed up early and often in this one. Nick Gonzalez, he hit a solo home run. in the first inning. Jared Triolo, he also hit a home run, 2 runs straight away to center field. That made it 3-0. And Andrew McCutchen, he said, "Look at these young pups hitting home runs. I'm going to do one myself." He hit one over the left center field fence. That made it 4-0 in the top of the third inning. They got to the starting pitcher in that game, Tyler Holton, and also to the relief pitcher who came in, Keter Montero. By the way, Andrew McCutchen, I know he's 38 years old. If he wants to come back at all next year, you have to bring him back, because I don't care if he's, taken up a spot that you could have other people. He's your best bat right now. 38 years old, he's your best bat. And you got nothing at the major league levels, nothing aside from maybe Connor Griffin coming next year from the minors. So if you want to keep, if you are really wanting to compete and you're not, you should spend money, but still bring back Kutch. He has been unbelievable lately. Paul Skenes looked very, very strong in this one, breezed through the first 5 innings of his outing. And then a bit of an odd scenario happened. There was a runner on first and second. Ground ball was hit to Nick Gonzalez at second base, but it was a slow roller. Gonzalez had to charge it. Meanwhile, the runner on first, sort of got in the way of Gonzalez running up to field that ball. Got the out at first, but there were still runners at second and third, and everybody was like, okay, what was going on there? Was that interference? Donnie Kelly, he went out to argue about it. Paul Skenes, probably the most I've seen Skenes get animated at an umpire in his big league career thus far. He was upset about it as well. But anyways, there was one out in the inning as well. So that didn't get him out of the inning. There was no double play to be turned. And wouldn't you know, that came back and bit the Pirates in the ass. Paul Skenes then gave up a single that scored both of those runners at third and second, and that made it 4-2. That was pretty much it for him after the fact. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits. Should have been, 2 hits and no runs. Bit of a control issue for him yesterday. Had 5 walks. He did strike out 9, so not going to complain about the strikeouts. He would have liked to seen the walks be a little lower. So he exited in line for the win. And the reason why I say in line is because the Bucs, they found a way to screw it up. Colt Keith, the second baseman for the Tigers, ended up hitting a 2-run home run to left field, just snuck inside the foul pole. And that pitch that he hit it out on, I was like very upset that they didn't hold down the lead for Skenes. But the pitch was like, I don't know, maybe half a foot, probably more above the strike zone. No idea how the hell this player got to it, but he did. He hit it out. That then screwed Paul Skenes out of the win. Everybody flipped their lids on that. And things stayed tied at 4-4 heading into the 9th inning. Bucs couldn't get a run across in the top of the 9th. They had to hope for extra innings. Dennis Santana came on in the bottom of the 9th inning, got one out, got up to a 1-2 count on the batter. Then the skies above Detroit let loose. It rained. Game went into a delay. They came back about an hour or so later. David Bednar then came in. He got out of the bottom of the 9th inning. Bucs in the top of the 10th. They then finally figured out how to get their bats going again. Ke'Bryan Hayes, he gave the Bucs a 5-4 lead. Then Nick Gonzalez came through as well. He got on base. Joey Bart made it 6-4. Back to what Ke'Bryan Hayes did there. Single up the middle. Tommy Pham, he was the automatic runner at second base. He slid into home plate. He was called safe at the time. They reviewed it. Looked like he was out from one angle, but they reviewed it from another angle. The catcher whiffed on the tag of his arm. So Pham was safe. Nick Gonzalez got on along with Ke'Bryan Hayes. Joey Bart, he delivered a pinch hit single to left field that made it 6-4. Then we had 2 more runners in scoring position. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa came up clutch, made it 8-4, pretty much put the game out of reach. Then David Bednar, I believe he only made 3 pitches when he went in for Santana in the bottom of the 9th, pitched the bottom of the 10th pretty smoothly, and that was the final score. 8-4, the Bucs got the win. Just sucks that they didn't get it for Skenes. It almost makes, the win feel so like meh. Like Skenes fights his ass off every time he's out there. He pitches so damn good. And the team, most of the time they can't even get him a little bit of run support. Yesterday they actually did 4 runs of run support. Skenes got screwed, needing to throw extra pitches that made him give up 2 runs. But this time it was the bullpen. I was trying to remember who the pitcher was at that time. It might have been Caleb Ferguson, but I'm not sure. Just sucks that they couldn't get him the win. Shout out Codify now. This stat here, very damning of the offense that Ben Cherington has assembled on this baseball team. Skenes this year has given up a total of 21 earned runs in 16 starts. He has 4 wins in those 16 starts. Just unbelievable. Takes a lot of the celebration out of the win there that Skenes didn't get the win. Also, craziness happened outside of the game itself. Not sure when this was, if it was during the rain delay or if it was before the rain delay, like during the game before he went into pitch. Dennis Santana out in the bullpen in left field there. He swung at a fan. There is about, I don't know, you would say like a 9-10 foot wall out there, and fans are lined up right there on the bullpen. Anyways, there was a fan, one in a Pittsburgh Pirates jersey. It looks like a City Connect jersey. It looks like he's the one that Santana was swinging at. Must have said something very offensive and crude to Santana. This fan in the yellow shirt here. Anyways, this fan in the yellow shirt, Santana, was like very animated at him, walked over to the fence, was like saying something at him, then jumped up, took a swipe at him. There was even a police officer, security guard there, and he wasn't trying to like hold back Santana at all until after Santana swung a little bit. The cop was looking at the fan. So must have tells you immediately the fan initiated it, and the fan must have said a very damning thing that Dennis Santana, who he's a pretty cool dude. Santana, he spoke after the fact, said, told the media, "You guys know me. I'm a calm demeanor type of person. I've never had any issues for any of the teams that I've played for. I guess the guy crossed the line a few times." So that's what Dennis Santana said after the game. That fan must have said something very, very bad. Like I said, the cop here was looking at the fan, and then Santana ended up being held back for the most part by one of the bullpen coaches there. So gotta wonder if the MLB is going to review this. I wouldn't be shocked if Santana at least gets fined. He might get a game suspension as well. I mean, hell, Tommy Pham, he got a game suspension for telling fans to, roll the dice, if you know what that hand gesture means. Speaking of Tommy Pham, he wasn't any, short of confrontation last night either. He was O'Neal Cruz. He struck out to end the big top of the 10th inning. He was on deck, and fans behind home plate, they must have heckled Pham. Well, Tommy, he's not, too hard to rile up anyways. Anyway, Pham, instead of telling the 2 fans to, go roll dice, he got a hold of the umpires on the field, was very animated, pointed out the fans' security, then they kicked out 2 fans behind home plate. There was also a chance of Tommy sucks after the fact. So crazy. The Bucs, thank goodness it was game 3, because the fans, they got to some of the Pirates players. Santana took a swing at someone. Tommy Pham, his cooler inner voice prevailed in that instance, thankfully. He didn't, go jump into the stands and start fighting people. So wonder if, there should be nothing for Tommy Pham, but you got to wonder Dennis Santana for taking a swipe at that fan, if he will wind up getting a game suspension. Tommy got a game suspension for the gesture he did. Santana taking a slap attempt at a fan. Would not be shocked if he gets a game suspension at least a fine. So we'll see how that plays out. Bucs, they resume action here tonight. They are back home in the friendly confines of PNC Park, at least friendlier. If they get blown out again, fans will start to boo and start sell the team chants. O'Neal Cruz, he leads off in center field. Andrew McCutchen, designated hitter. Nick Gonzalez batting third at second base. Spencer Horwitz is the cleanup man again at first base. Joey Bart back in the 5 spot catching. Jared Triolo at third base tonight. He gives Key Brian Hayes the night off. Adam Frazier in right field. Brian Reynolds still on maternity leave. Alexander Canario in left field. No Tommy Pham tonight. Isaiah Kinder-Falefa rounds out the lineup, batting ninth at shortstop. Mike Burrows is on the bump for the Bucs. They are playing the Texas Rangers. First pitch is at 6:40. Have no clue who they are throwing out there against the Pirates. The Rangers are. Yeah, I do not know their starting pitcher right now, but anyways, Texas Rangers, pretty decent team. Made the World Series a couple years ago. Bucs should be in for another fun series. Let me go to the comments section real quick. Jonathan Harvey, welcome back. Jonathan, glad the Bucs got a win in Detroit after leading 4-0. I reside in Detroit and was a public transportation with 100 Tigers fans called Q Line after they lost 9-2. Ooh, hopefully Detroit fans who you transport are much friendlier than those of the ones who were antagonizing, I should say, that's the correct word, Dennis Santana, and same thing with Tommy Pham. I'm sure they were very happy after the 9-2 victory earlier in the day, but 4-0, coming back, tying it up 4-4, and then losing in extra innings, and not just automatic runner at second base, and they score 1 run, and then Bednar goes back out there and shuts it down. No, the Bucs, they just poured it on that inning. That really shocked me. I would have been happy had they just gotten the automatic runner at second home, but getting 4 runs before your closer heads back out there, I'll take it. So, good thing that the Bucs are out of Detroit and back into Pittsburgh tonight. Going to keep things moving along here. We are going to move into some Pittsburgh Steelers news, which really there isn't much any, but what we are talking about most relating to the Steelers right now is Jalen Ramsey. After Jair Alexander signed with the rival Baltimore Ravens a couple of days ago, Steelers fans, they were, first of all, upset that Alexander, A, didn't sign here, and B, signed with the Ravens of all teams. And now everybody, including myself, they want Jalen Ramsey to join the black and gold. And we talked about it a little bit yesterday, how Ramsey apparently followed Cam Hayward. Not sure if it was, he's followed Cam for a while or if it was, a brand new follow. But anyway, he began following Cam Hayward. He didn't stop there, Ramsey. He is playing mind games right now. He is now a screenshot here of his latest followers on Instagram. He has followed starting safety Deshaun Elliott, DK Metcalf, Joey Porter Jr., Dante Jackson, former Pittsburgh Steeler, Darius Slay, and Broderick Jones. Sorry, it took me a minute there. Broderick Jones, Instagram, millionaire move, and General Jones. Took me a second there to remember who that was. But following Slay, Porter, the two starters, two starting quarters on this team, as well as one of our starting safeties, Deshaun Elliott, and DK Metcalf, who I'm not sure if Jalen Ramsey followed Metcalf before, but if you go back to the days of Metcalf as a Seahawk and Ramsey as an LA Ram, those two would go at it on the field. He was probably one of the best antagonizers, getting under the skin of Metcalf. And if I had to guess, probably little love to give between those two gentlemen. But if this is a new follow here for Jalen Ramsey, that will speak volumes that he wants to join the Steelers. But I'm not going to get my hopes up. I think I heard something out there today that Jerry Dulac of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, he is bullish on the Steelers' interest in Jalen Ramsey. So I'm going to keep my excitement, my hope of Jalen Ramsey becoming a Steeler low right now, because, we saw this before where with Brandon Ayuk, he played all those games of, following Steelers, saying on podcasts and stuffs that, oh, I like Mike Tomlin and all that. So Jalen Ramsey, this is probably him, maybe, trying to force the Dolphins to do something, get in their heads, something like that. Maybe have them continue to pay him or give him, a contract raise. So we'll see. But hey, following all those guys, that speaks volumes. And that's not the only thing, too. I almost forgot this. There was a post from the NFL today, some familiar faces in new places around the NFL this year. That today they did the Steelers. They posted a picture of Metcalf, Rodgers, and Darius Slay all together. Guess who liked it? Jalen Ramsey. Maybe liking that tweet in particular, that post on Instagram, in particular, about the new guys joining the Steelers. Hits that like button. Oh yeah? You like that, NFL? How about if I become one of those new guys here soon? So, not going to get too excited yet, but, my expectations of him coming to the Steelers are low. Just doesn't feel like something the Steelers are going to do. Feels like they would probably look into getting a wide receiver 2 locked up before another corner, but it's low, but it could shoot through the moon here in very short order. Okay, so that does it here for the main news that I have here today. Going to take a quick stroll here through Twitter before we get into the more news story segments that I have saved here. Taking a quick look if we have anything new going on out there in the sports news world. Interesting there. Mike Florio posting from PFF. Mike Florio saying the Steelers need to consider signing wide receiver Keenan Allen. Didn't Allen just say in a TikTok live stream that he's not coming to the Steelers? Guess Florio didn't pay attention to that much. Okay, getting here into the more news story segment, we are going to start back in the baseball world real quick. Talking about Paul Skenes and, how he can't get a win because this team sails on him every single time. Talked about it, 21 earned runs in 16 starts, only 4 wins to show for it. That wasn't the only thing that he had to deal with last night. I believe it was around the second or third inning. He's out there mowing down guys left and right. The stupid-ass Tiger mascot for the Detroit Tigers puts up a sign, Sup Livy Done, with hearts all over it. Just, really? I get it's all, fun and war here, but even Livy, she reposted it saying, sorry, not my type of tiger. And LSU, they got a kick out of that. So just crazy that Skenes had to deal with that. Did have a roster transaction happen with the Bucs yesterday, or last night, I should say. Brett Sullivan, catcher who was up here for probably 3 days in the series against the Cubs last week. He got DFA'd recently and now has declared for free agency. So Brett Sullivan, after joining the Bucs, getting called up for 2 games, and then getting DFA'd right after, he has elected for free agency. John Drecker, who does do some writing on the Pittsburgh Pirates and their history. He was the first I saw that reported this. Also, he did point out the caveat that there is a chance Sullivan could return. We've seen this twice already this year. Nick Solak, the infielder utility man who was up here for a couple of weeks, maybe started 1 game, but after that didn't really get that much playing time, especially after Nick Gonzalez returned. He opted out of free agency and then signed a minor league deal with the Bucs. Same thing with Tanner Rainey, who was up with the bullpen for a little while this year. He got DFA'd, opted for free agency, and just recently, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, re-signed with the minor league team as well. So Brett Sullivan, who is DFA'd, currently off the team but could return. Speaking of possible returns, another player in Major League Baseball that we know quite well got DFA'd today. This 6 hours ago, the Seattle Mariners, they DFA'd none other than first baseman Rowdy Tellez. Tellez, I thought he was doing quite well with the Mariners this year. Let me look up his numbers exactly here. Yeah, just that caught me a bit by surprise that he got DFA'd already. I thought he was doing quite well there for the Mariners, but they must have another option available to them this year. He has a 208 batting average, so better than a majority of his stint here with the Bucs last year. A 683 OPS. Wouldn't be the worst on the Bucs, I'll tell you that much. I think of the bottom three of our lineup on average is batting, 400 in the OPS department. He's got 36 hits this year, 11 home runs for Rowdy Tellez, and 27 RBIs. Also 1 stolen base, which I think I watched live when the Mariners were playing the Red Sox last week. But anyways, Tellez, 11 home runs. Guess what? That would be second on the team behind O'Neal Cruz. I get we traded for Spencer Horwitz and we paid a pretty penny to do so. If he goes on the injured block here, do we bring back Rowdy Tellez? I would do it, honestly. It'd be hilarious. And it'd be the most Pirate thing ever. You bring this guy in last year. He sucked for most of the year. Then when he finally got good, you cut him before he could get a bonus. Now you are stuck with an even worse option at first base, which that's another thing in and of itself. The Bucs trying to find a long-term first baseman here and all the patchwork they've done, it has progressively, consistently gotten worse over the past couple of years. Carlos Santana, one of the best first basemen that we've seen here in this city, probably the best since Garrett Jones left. So yeah, no Carlos Santana. You traded him off when he was, decent for the Bucs. Wanted to come back to the Bucs. Nope. You didn't want to do that. You brought in Rowdy Tellez. Stunk for the first half of the season and change. Started to get hot. You cut him. And now he was doing better than probably half of your roster this year. And you're now with Spencer Horwitz with a chronic wrist injury who has no pop in his bat. Don't even think he's hit a home run yet since he returned from injury. So just felt like putting that out there. Rowdy Tellez is available. Fans would probably, the way he left here playing well and, fans angry at the organization screwing him out of, what was it, $250,000 if he just played 4 more games or got 4 more plate appearances, something like that. Bring back Rowdy, bring him home. Talking about roster moves here, we might get more here soon. Danny D'Amelio, who covers the Bucs for Pittsburgh baseball now, reported today that Tim Meza and Justin Lawrence, right-handed pitcher who we got near the end of spring training off of waivers from the Colorado Rockies, and Meza, a free agent signing this past offseason. Both have been on the shelf for the past couple of months. They played catch out in left field in PNC Park today, so looks like they could be beginning rehab assignments here soon. They're currently on the 60-day IL. D'Amelio also stated it wasn't, just them short tossing. They were throwing 75 feet to each other, so their arms must be feeling better. Last thing here on the Bucs, small note, has nothing to do with the on-field product. This weekend, actually tomorrow, 4:05, the Rangers take on the Pirates in Game 2 of this series. The Bucs, they are giving away a complimentary baseball cap to 20,000 fans. They are also holding a pregame block party on Federal Street, I believe. Also, Pirates alumni Al Oliver will be there. So if any of you are interested in having a meet and greet and autographs with a former Bucco. Al Oliver will be there. That is 2:30 to 3:30. He said himself on his X account that he will be there. 2:30 to 3:30. Go meet Pittsburgh Pirate alumni Al Oliver. Moving along here in the more random news segments, back into the hockey world here for a brief moment. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. I mentioned it. It is official today. The Philadelphia Flyers posting 7 hours ago. I think this is them filling out the rest of their coaching staff as well. They hired Todd Reardon as an assistant coach. Have fun with that, Philly. I hate that you got Tocchet because he is just such a damn good fit for you guys behind the bench. But have fun with Reardon running your power play and running your defense. Yeah, we all remember the infamous video of Reardon when the Bucs or the Pirate. Oh my God, what the hell am I saying? The Penguins, late in a game 2 years ago, they were down by a goal late in the period, and everyone on the ice, Sid, Carlson, Letang, they were looking at Reardon, who's holding the whiteboard there, looking to drop a play, ended up writing nothing. Good shot there by the fan, videotaping that. Held it there for like 30 seconds trying to figure out what the hell he wanted to do. Couldn't come up with nothing. Put the board back down and sent the boys on their way. So have fun with that, Philly. You made a good hire in Tocchet, but Reardon is going to have you guys pulling out your hair before not too long. Also, last bit of hockey news here has little to do with the Penguins, but it will be fun to look at this when it comes out. The 2025-26 NHL season schedule will be coming out on July 16th. Sure, I will be looking at that. We'll probably break down when that comes out here on the channel, break down some of the most intriguing games or stretches of games during that season. Talk about the home opener, who they will be playing around the NHL deadline, trade deadline, and whatnot. Last thing here in the two more things here in the more Pittsburgh sports news segment. Back into the football world here for a second. Madden 26, the video game produced by EA, they came out with the unofficial beta team ratings today, and yikes. Kansas City Chiefs, top team, number 92. They're a 92 overall team. You would probably think the second best team would have to be then the reigning Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, right? Nope, it's the San Francisco 49ers who lost a bunch of their core players and paid Brock Purdy a lot of money and didn't make the playoffs last year. They made them a 92, the same as the Kansas City Chiefs. That is crazy. Baltimore Ravens a 91. Okay, I can understand that. Miami Dolphins 89. They too missed the playoffs last year. What? I don't get that whatsoever. Jalen Ramsey, he's most likely going to get traded, or at least wants to be traded. Bring him to Pittsburgh. Omar. Tyreek Hill, he's a distraction, and he might get traded. Tua Tagovailoa, you don't know. He's in a contract here, but you don't know how he's going to stay healthy. Dallas Cowboys, they're 88. Maybe I can see that, but still, that's a stretch. The Detroit Lions are an 88. I put them above the Cowboys and Dolphins. Hell, might even put them above the Ravens. The Bengals, with no defense and an offense that consists of just Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase, they're an 87. You know who else is an 87? Well, first off, finishing on the Bengals here, 87 for an all-offensive team and no defense. That is insane. I guess Trey Hendrickson, he's going to need to carry the defense in that game just like he does in real life. But you know what is the most insane statistic here? This most insane player or team rating. The Bengals are an 87. I mentioned that the Philadelphia Eagles, who they're supposed to be near the top, they just won the Super Bowl in dominant fashion over the 92 overall Kansas City Chiefs. They too are an 87. So, along with the Bengals and the Eagles, one more team is ranked in 87. It is the Cleveland Browns. Are you insane? EA, the 3-win Cleveland Browns with pretty much only Myles Garrett on that team where with a four-way race at quarterback between older than dirt Joe Flacco, small hands Kenny Pickett, 5'2" Dylan Gabriel, and Shadur Sanders Toretto, that's an 87 overall team? That is absolutely nuts. You wonder where the Steelers rank in all this. They are just 1 point below, 86, alongside the New York Jets, who fired everyone last year, who then brought in Justin Fields, who have, just Garrett Wilson on offense for Fields to throw to? Probably on paper, they're actually, the more I think about it, probably worthy of an 86, but real life, nowhere close. Also, some other things here. I'm talking Steelers, 86 overall, probably higher than what you expect for them right now, but I could understand it. Mike Tomlin, he might have a little bit to do with that. Watt, Hayward, Fitzpatrick, I'm sure they have a half-decent grade on Rodgers. Metcalf, he's a much better upgrade, so I can maybe see them becoming an 86, but still might be a bit of a stretch. The Buffalo Bills are an 85. Josh Allen, reigning MVP. What I think is a, improved defense. Them at an 85 shocks me. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're an 84. I think that's low. Atlanta Falcons at an 84. Might be around that region, if not too high. The Minnesota Vikings, Houston Texans, New Orleans Saints, they're an 83. The Saints being an 83. Holy hell. I didn't even see that one. I just watched the top half because the Steelers, they had the Browns, Bengals, and Ravens, all three of the AFC North teams above the Steelers. I didn't even see that. How the hell are the Saints in 83? Probably the most accurate one here is the New York Giants at a 75. Commanders, the Washington Commanders, with Terry McLaurin and Jaden Daniels, they're just a 78. They're the third lowest rated team here. The frickin' Carolina Panthers are above them. The New England Patriots are an 80 above them. Crazy. I'm done. My head hurts reading that list. It's almost as bad as the ESPN all-century team list that they put out a couple of days ago. I didn't talk about it on this channel, but two Steelers made the all-century team, or all-quarter century team, excuse me. So from 2000 to 2025, two Steelers made it as starters, Alan Faneca and Troy Polamalu. No shock there. That was also an abysmal list. Go check it out. TJ Watt, he was on the practice squad of that team, meaning he wasn't one of the four starting edge rushers with Michael Strahan. So the two guys that hold the sack record together in NFL history, they're on the practice squad. Guess who made the starting role? One of the four starters. Myles Garrett. Get out of here. That's insane. Ben Roethlisberger, he wasn't even, didn't even make the starting role or the practice squad. Drew Brees made the practice squad over him. Ben's better than him. Also, Adrian Peterson and LaDainian Tomlinson, they didn't even make the running back room either. That tells you how bad that list was. Anyways, I'm done getting hyped up over this. People are stupid, especially EA, for those initial team ratings. Last thing here, Steelers news. Deontay Johnson, he spoke today. He is a member of the Cleveland Browns for right now. He was explaining what went wrong on his stop with the Baltimore Ravens last year. He said, quote, "I checked out mentally. Been on hell of a roller coaster of teams. Got traded to the Panthers from the Steelers. Then got traded from the Panthers, or got traded from the Steelers to the Panthers. Then got traded again from the Panthers to the Ravens. Ravens cut him. He went to Houston. They didn't want him. They cut him. Ravens ended up taking him back, and now he signed with the Cleveland Browns. If you checked out mentally in Baltimore, then what the hell happened here at Pittsburgh? That's all I got to say. Taking one more stroll here through the X timeline, see if we got anything new going on before I log off for the weekend. Seeing a video here. Jonathan Tays, former Chicago Blackhawks captain, is coming back into hockey after a year off. He is signed today with the Winnipeg Jets. Interesting there. Also, we were talking about, a trade coming soon here for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Probably one with the Dallas Stars, most likely. That the chances of a trade with the Stars took a bit of a hit today. They re-signed 2 young players. They also yesterday they signed 2 young players for cheap, including one of their top, young guys, Maverick Bork, and they traded away Mason Marchment, one of their, third line forwards who's making around $5 million. So they're looking to save more money against the cap. Penguins may not view them as a team, desperate for cap space like they were 24 hours ago. Seeing a video here. There's some sort of big Fanatics Fest going on up in New York right now, including tons of, trading cards getting thrown around galore up there. Livy Dunn there now. Looking here, not seeing much of anything else here, ladies and gentlemen, so I believe that is going to do it on the program here today. With that, thank you guys for joining here today. That is going to do it for this week's slate of shows. Thank you all for joining me throughout the week. Had a pretty nice week of news. The Bucs faltered in their series against the Tigers. Steelers, for their first week off of, team activities. It's going to be a bit of a slow period here over the next month before they return to practice together. Some news on that front, including Jalen Ramsey, the likability of him becoming a Pittsburgh Steeler, slightly going up, but still not high. And the Penguins making lots of moves this week. First hiring Nick Bonino as an assistant and wrapping up their coaching staff here today. So good news of a good week of news. Thank you all for joining me for it. Appreciate it very, very much. For the final time this week, please be sure to like, share, and comment on this live stream. Also, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications if you have not done so already. We are up to 408 subscribers on the channel. Thank you very much to those of you who have done so up until this point. And one more time, gonna say this again. There's a new Instagram channel here for the Steel City Sports Report. Go check that out. Same username as on X and YouTube at Steel City SR. So go check that out. Give that a follow. I would appreciate it very, very much. And that will do it. I will see you guys back here on Monday around this time between 5 and 6 o'clock. Back in our normal live stream hourly slate. So thank you all for joining me. See you back here on Monday, unless there's breaking news over the weekend. I appreciate you all for tuning in, and see you back here on Monday. Have a good weekend, everybody. Peace out.